So we'll start by getting all the elements into the JavaScript file. Let's get the toggle button. So toggle is equal to document dot get element by id, and we'll get the toggle button. Then we want mute button, so that's the second one. Then there is the location, which is this one. So we'll do locations. Then we want the video speed. We'll get the speed by id. Then we want the audio tag, so audio. Then we want the play button, that's that. Then there is the next and the previous button, so we'll get the previous and then the next button. All the needed elements into our script.js file. Now we need to change the video based on the location selected. So to do that, we need a city, okay. Then from the city we need a video ID, okay. So we need the video ID on random from the array. To generate a random number, we'll create a function. So random number, we'll take a parameter of max value, so that it returns a number between 0 and that maximum value. So it will floor the math dot random times. So this will give a random number between 0 and that number. So we'll use this function to get a random number in the array. So that will be the element of that array. So we'll write a function to be called on load, so that when the site is loaded, we'll basically call this function. So first we'll write the onload function. Okay. So to load the video, first we need the city, and in that city we need the video, right? So to get the city, globally we'll create a few variables. So one will be the current city index, which is the index value at which the city is loaded. So example, in the first case, Philadelphia is loaded, so the index of this array is 0, so the current city index will be 0. So we want that. Then we need the city value in a separate variable, so we'll have it in a variable called current city. Then create a variable similarly for video and video index. So current video index, we'll have current video. Then we'll have current audio index and current audio index and current audio. So we need to have all these parameters. So to get a random city from this data, what we'll do is we'll take the current city index and we'll set a value from the random number. So we'll select a random number between 0 and the length of this array, which is the whole data set. So in our case, it will be data dot length. So this gives a number between 0 and that number. Now we've got an index for the city, so we'll take that and that index, and we'll pass that index to get the current city. Now if we need a random video within the city, so we'll do the same thing, which is current video index equal to random number, and we'll do current city dot length. So this will give a random number, city dot, not the city dot length, city dot videos dot length. So this will give a length of the videos array, and the function will generate a random number. So now to get the current video index video, we'll take the current city dot videos, and we'll pass current video index. Similarly, to get the audio, we will make it current audio index, and we'll change this to music, and we'll change this to current audio. Okay, so this gives audio and video of randomly on load. Okay, now we need to set all of these into the DOM. So to set the audio, we'll set audio.src equal to current audio. So this will, since we have loaded audio here, you can see that we have imported here. So we are setting the src from here. So the current audio will be a random link from the music array. So if say this random number function returns 0, in the case of Philadelphia City, it will return this link there. So what we are doing here is basically we are setting the source as the current audio. Then we'll, since we have already set this src, we'll change the icon from pause to play. For this one, play dot class list dot remove fa dot play, and we'll set the class list of fa dot pause. So if we save that and call the function, actually let's log the current city as well. So console.log current city. Okay, and we'll save that. And now if we take the log here, so it seems like there are few issues here. Let's see what's going on. So it was having some issue with the IP because of the with the post message. So you can see that there is a log here. So if you take here, you can see music and the video. So it randomly chose Delhi. So if we refresh again, we are getting another city. So this will change whenever we load. So we have an error here which is cannot say the property of src of null. So let's check that. Okay, so we are audio.src. We're going to index.html, and here we have commented the audio. So also the ID is music. So let's uncomment that, remove the src from here. Okay, and we'll save that, and we'll go here and we'll change this to music, and we'll save that. So now what is happening? Okay, still there is some issue with the ads here. Ad is getting blocked, I think. So you can see the button change from pause to play. I don't know if it's my fault or the audio is not being loaded. So let's log the current audio here, and we'll see that, and let's see what we are logging. So you can see we are logging just an empty string. That's not what we want. Let's check the data. So data is correct. So if you see, we are using videos. That's not what we want. We want the music. Okay. And now we are getting a link. So that's the audio that we have loaded. So now I've commented the audio. Let's do this audio part first, and let's get it out of the system so that we can play and pause that audio. So if we'll add an event listener to play button. So play add event listener, and we'll listen to the event of click. And when the click happens, we want to check something. We want to check if the audio is paused, and if it's paused, we want the audio to play, and else we want the audio to pause. Okay, we want to change the icon as well, so we use the same thing from here. So when it's playing, we want to remove the play button, and we want the pause button to be there, and when it's paused, we want the play button to be there. So we will change this to pause and add this play. Okay, so we'll save that. So we have added the event listener for the play button, which is this one. Now let's add the event listener for the next and the previous button. We'll add an event listener to previous. So prev dot add event listener, and we'll listen to the event of click. And when the click happens, we want to loop through the music in the current city.music. We want to loop through that. So to loop that, we are using the audio index here to know which song is currently being played. So we'll increment and decrement the audio index based on the position, and based on that we'll change the current audio. So first we'll check if the current audio index is less than current city dot music dot length -1. If this is true, then actually this is not for the previous condition, it's for the next condition. So if this is true, we want to increment the audio index. Okay, else we want to set the current audio index to 0. Okay, then as we have set the audio index, we just need to set the SRC and play it. So setting the SRC is this one. So current audio is basically current city music.audio. Current audio index. So this will give set the SRC, and we just need to play the video. For previous button also, we'll do this same thing. We'll add an event listener and we'll listen to click events, and when the click event happens, this function will be called, and if the current audio index is greater than 0, we'll reduce the current audio index, else we'll put it as the last element of the last index, which is the current city dot music dot length -1. Okay, and after that we'll do the same thing. So now let's uncomment all the audio src, and let's see if all the audio part is working or not. So you can see the audio is being paused and played. So if we play next, and so you can see play was interrupted by a call to pause. So we'll just comment this audio.src. Not the audio, just the audio.play. So we are looping through the tracks now. So you can see that the access to the audio at this link is blocked. So since we have formed this data from the Radio Garden, some of the links has issues connecting to the server because they do not allow random sites to access their site. So in that case, we can't actually get the audio from that stream. So you have to check which audio is being received and which is not getting the value. So I have not gone through and filtered all the list. This is just a random list that I've collected. Other than that, we are able to loop through it. So that's the audio part. So now let's first add the cities. So we have already added the current city. Now let's have that show the exact same city that we have in the data. So now we are loading the cities from here, which is the HTML. So let's load that from the JS file itself. We'll first loop through each element of in the data array, which is our database, and for each element we have a few things to do. One is we want to create a list element to show here. So location element equal to document dot create element, and we'll create an element of list item, and we'll set the location element dot inner text as the element dot city. So from where we are getting this element dot city, we are loading from this data. Okay, so now we'll set an ID also to this list element. So location element dot ID equal to IDX. So IDX is the index in the array. Okay, so now we'll add a click listener to this list element, so that when we click a particular city, that changes the audio and the video. So we'll do location element dot add event listener, and we'll listen to click, and we'll do the callback function. When the click happens, we want to get the ID of that list element. So we'll set that, since we we are using the position in the array as the id, so that is the current city index. So we'll get an event here, so e dot target dot id, and this will be a string. We want to convert it to a number, so we'll do that. So now we need the new city, which will be the current city. So it will be data of current city index, and similarly we need all the other values, which is the video and audio index. Yeah, so we've gotten all those values. We need these as well here. It's audio.src equal to, so we'll set a default volume level. So we'll set the audio volume to 0.5 and we'll set that here. When we save that, nothing has happened yet because we have not taken this list element and we have not added it to our locations. Within the for each, we'll do location dot append, and we'll append the location element, and when we save that, so you can see Philadelphia, Mumbai, Delhi. The reason why this has not changed is because we already are loading data from here, and the append method just adds list item beneath here. So we need to delete all of these from here so that we can actually load everything from the JavaScript itself. So we'll save that, and we're having all the data from the data set itself. Let's highlight this one. To highlight, we'll create a new function called highlight, and we want to highlight the locations, which is this one. So we'll get the child nodes from the locations, which is the container that holds every list item. List child nodes is not a function. It just returns all the list in an array, and we'll get every child element from that, and then this function will be called. So to see that, let's just log the locations.child nodes, what we are getting. So we just log that here, and when we save that and take the developer tools, nothing's happened because we have not called the function. So we'll just call the function below here. Okay, so you can see that we have returned a list item of all the list elements. Okay, so we need to take these list elements, and we want to basically add or remove a class. So in the style.css, we had written that if there is an active class, we need to have a different background. So we'll add the active class for the city that is having the index of current city index. For each element, first we'll remove the active class if there is any, and after that we'll check if the index equal to the current city index, and if that is true, we'll take the element, and in the class list we'll add a class of active. Okay, so this will basically make sure that only one city is highlighted at a time, not l.remove, it's l.classlist. Sorry about that. So if you can see, now Tokyo is being highlighted, and it's Japanese music that is being played here. So now we have loaded this part. Now let's load the video.